Is the One Piece trading card game about to have its biggest correction yet? We're talking about that and more in this episode of Buds Watch, where we talk about all things One Piece trading card game, but more of an emphasis on the collecting side of things. Guys, we do have a giveaway before we get started. We do have a giveaway for that slab right in front of you, that Fire Fist alt art from, I believe it's OP02 or OP03. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, as well as be a U.S. resident. Before we get started on all the correction talk, some pretty crazy news has happened over the last week. EBO3, you've probably seen across social media a bunch of people with cases at conventions selling it. I saw someone selling it at a convention for like $680 or something like that.
Pasadena front row.
Dude, that's crazy. But people were selling that for $680 at that convention. And there's just been a bunch of photos and a bunch of sales happening of EBO3 like 3 or 4 weeks in advance of the actual release. Now, to be fair, like One Piece, usually we see boxes a little early, like maybe like a week and a half. 3 to 4 weeks is a little crazy. And by a little crazy, I mean a lot of crazy. And that's because now we have the news that there has been a huge theft of EBO3 boxes straight from distribution. I don't know if this was off like a truck or off something specific, but all we know is someone stole a bunch of EBO3 boxes, a group of people, someone, who knows, we don't know, but now we know why there are so many boxes in circulation this early. Holy shit. I mean, this is just one of those things where like it comes with the territory of EBO3 just being so valuable and sought after. And EB sets, like you always say, being a one-wave set. Like, obviously, that's not going to work in a market like this. But, Nick, man, what are you thinking about that theft, bro? That's pretty crazy.
I think it's funny how the One Piece, a bunch of pirates talking about some boxes that fell off a truck. Honestly, in my mind, I kind of imagine like a Fast and the Furious kind of scene where it's like they got the person hanging off a lever on like a tow truck. He's breaking into the back, and you got like 2 people in the front, armed security guards, protecting that EBO3 with their life. No, that ain't happening.
AK-47 in hand, bro.
That ain't happening. I promise you, what ended up happening is someone offered an employee from distribution probably a good amount of cheddar.
Oh, you think that was inside job?
Yeah. They offered someone from distro a good amount of cheddar, and that guy said,
"Oh,
they cashed that bad boy in. I cashed that bad boy in."
Okay.
It's a funny thing. It's a very funny thing that this is happening of all times right now during this peak moment, which we're going to talk about how there's a little bit of correction going on right now, and the good news about that. It's almost like the stage has been perfectly set for Bandai to come out here and say, EBO3 one-wave print? Nah,
dude.
We're going to give you guys a second wave. Don't you worry about that. For all you people out there who paid $700 a box, kick rocks. But, jokes aside, if you did pay that price, we talked about it last week.
I do understand. Like, genuinely, I do understand it. But.
No, we talked about it last week. We did. We said that we both thought that this box would be probably over $1,000 in a year from now.
Yeah.
$700 to $1,000. Is it that much growth? No, but it's still a little bit of growth if that's the route you want to take. I'm not going to poo-poo on whatever you decide to do in your collecting journey. But with that being said, hopefully this is the justification that Bandai needs to finally hit that print button on EBO3 and tell their manufacturers and their distributors to get out one more wave minimum of this one. The people demand it. I mean, we're hearing allocations got cut by around 10%. Our card shop, one of the goated card shops out there, top 3 and it ain't 3. They were very transparent. They told us immediately. I actually saw that Discord message got leaked to the greater interwebs on social media, on X in particular. And, very transparent. Told us exactly what happened. Allocations got cut. You heard from, I think, Beckett Castle as well. They said that they got 9% of their allocation cut. So, 10% allocation doesn't seem like much, but when you think about it big picture, for the overall distribution amount, getting cut 10%, I mean, whoo!
Yeah.
If you have 1,000 boxes, that's 100 boxes getting cut right there.
That is. I mean, Beckett Castle, I think, like you said, I think they said they're getting their 9% like in April or something like that, which like, if they were planning on doing a reprint, do you think they would only do 9% there? Like,
hell no. Yeah, no.
So,
run them printers, Bandai. Let it go. Print it up. But you mentioned something earlier that I thought was really interesting, which is that this happened to a one-wave print set. It had to happen to the craziest, probably the craziest set we've had in One Piece. honestly, for the rarity aspect of it and the overall value of the box and pre-release. Without a doubt, it's the most valuable pre-release box that has ever been in One Piece so far. But it's just so funny that this backdooring,
it's a straight up anomaly,
had to happen for this because, okay, so the first red flag to me, if anyone's ever watched Rattle Pokemon, this guy's the king at always calling out people for stealing product in Pokemon. In Pokemon, it does happen where people are able to get boxes early through them falling off a truck somewhere. That's all I'm going to say. And the way for EBO3, where you could just tell that something was real fishy, was how early people got the boxes for a set that doesn't even have pre-release. EBO3 doesn't have pre-release, yet people had it 3 weeks early, man. As soon as I saw those posts, I knew immediately that something was a little suspicious. I just didn't understand the extremity of the amount of theft that happened. But Bandai, y'all better be checking that camera footage. Time to hold some people accountable over there, man.
There needs, not to stay on this topic too long, but someone needs to be held accountable for something like this.
Andrew in our comments, he said he already figured out a way to track down the thieves over at Rutgers. Send him over there, man.
Andrew, what the hell? Get that guy
send Andrew over to the manufacturing facility,
Get
man.
That guy on the case,
you,
man. But we definitely need to hold people accountable. What do you guys think about all that stuff happening with EBO3, the price of the box? Oh, man, and then the theft, of course. It's pretty crazy. All right, so let's talk about, and this is the title of the video. We'll probably title it something like The One Piece Trading Card Market is going to Crash.
It's over. It's doomed.
Everything is over.
It's the end of times.
I just want to give a disclaimer really quick before we start talking about a correction. Nick and I, here for the long term. We believe wholeheartedly in this card game. We love this card game to death. We're going to be here, hopefully, for the entire run of this card game. And we hope that it lasts forever. So, a correction is healthy, and we just want to talk about it because we think it's healthy to talk about it with you guys instead of it being this always just bullish on something, always go up. I think that's a very unhealthy state of mind to get in, and we see the negative consequences of being in a market like that. So, all right, guys. So we are seeing a bit of a correction already, but we do think there might be a continuation of this going into the next couple months, and we have a few reasons why. The first one is actually huge news, like really, really, really big news, which is there are 2 new distributors that are going to be carrying One Piece. That is massive, absolutely massive. The thing that we've been talking about for like what feels like 7, maybe 8 episodes now in a row is that Bandai needs to ramp up production. Obviously, don't print it to the ground where there's no value, but when we're seeing boxes $500 pre-release, when we're seeing OP14 at $270 after release or just at release, there's a problem. There's a problem with that, and we need more production. There's too much demand for the supply that's on the market. Anyways, long story short, Bandai seemingly has heard our cries, and they now have 2 new distributors carrying One Piece, which is absolutely fantastic news. There's going to be ramped up production. Now, what this looks like exactly, are they going to do the Rudy approach, where 10% every set until they find some kind of equilibrium? Are they going to do mass kind of print increase, like where it's like 50%? Are they going to 2 times it? We have no idea. Bandai has not made any official statement about this. All we know, all the information we know is coming directly from card shops who have relationships with distributors. So I'm kind of hoping and expecting Bandai to say something about this because it's just free praise, like everybody wants this, and Bandai can just come out and be like, hey, we hear you guys, and we're going to start printing more. So I would love to hear.
Shout out all you Bandai employees watching this pod right now. We salute you. Thank you so much for complaining to your upper management. Because damn time. It's time to get those printers cooking, guys. Okay. Let's think about this step by step, okay? So is this big news? Absolutely. This is huge news. It's
biggest news ever?
Arguably could be one of the reasons for why the market correction is happening right now.
I actually think so. I genuinely think so.
It could definitely be a catalyst for what's going on. There's kind of a perfect storm of scenarios going on right now. Biggest news ever? I don't want to say biggest news ever. I think that's a little bit of an overstatement. It's definitely big. It's definitely big news. Maybe. Definitely big news. You cannot underestimate the importance of what that is. But again, in terms of when are we going to see the impacts of this happen, probably going to be a minimum 6 months, guys.
Yeah.
We're probably going to be stuck here in the current cycle we're in for the next 6 months. But One thing I did mention to Dom that I really hope Bandai takes the approach on is to utilize the new distributors as a way to get caught up on everything that is astronomically high for no reason right now, aka everything from OP11 forward. If they said, "Hey, Southern Hobby, you guys get half," and whoever, I can't remember the other manufacturer distributors, they get the other half. You guys, I want you guys focusing on OP11 through OP12, and the other group, I want you focusing on OP13 through EBO3.
Yeah.
I think that would be incredible, just so, again, we can play catch-up on these sets that are just unreasonably high. I did see a good amount of correction coming in OP13 from a couple weeks ago when it was at $750 box. Right now, sitting at around $670 a box, so a good amount of correction on that price tag. But still, $670, guys, for a box that's been out since November? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That should not be the case. Give people the ability to open up more of that set. It's a great set. The people want it. Collectors, investors, players.
Everybody wants it.
Everyone wants OP13. And we've been saying for months on this channel that a good print wave of OP13 is going to come. We don't know how much it's going to correct the market, but it definitely should. And it should a little bit, but they should print that at least multiple waves with how popular the anniversary set is. So again, we're probably not going to see major shifts happen in the availability of product for the next 6 months. That's how I'd imagine the distributors told Bandai, hey, it's going to take us at least 4 to 6 months before we can get you something.
I'm hoping, my hopium glasses are hoping for OP15 to be it. But it probably won't be until, OP16 or PRBO3, probably going to be the sets that it starts off with. And then at that point, are they going to go back and reprint things like you're saying, like OP11, which is like at $420 or $430 a box right now or something crazy?
And I have to say, this is a little bit of a straw hat theory, pun intended. Aluminum foil theory, some might say.
Oh, aluminum hat.
Aluminum straw hat theory here, but there were rumors. There were rumors that Bandai had planned on having a reprint after they caught up to worldwide release. Worldwide release is happening.
It's looking
this summer.
Looking okay.
It almost looks like Bandai intentionally planned it. I can't give you your flowers yet, Bandai, because we don't know what's going on. We don't know if this is confirmed or not in terms of behind the scenes. If they were plotting this the whole time, but if they were, damn. Imagine if they just had a written statement to go along with this. If they just would have said, "Hey guys, we know the market has been incredibly hot this whole time.
That's the only thing they're missing."
I'm telling you, if they had a written statement,
only thing. Bro.
If they had a written statement where they pretty much said that this was our master plan all along, Bandai, that is Pokemon level manipulation right there, Bandai. I gotta give you your flowers if that's the case, but that's to be seen.
Okay, so then I probably. I honestly forgot about that, but I do remember that rumor. I honestly forgot about that. So probably I could totally see it being worldwide release where these distributors start going into effect. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be absolutely crazy. Anyways, guys, the distributor news is absolutely massive. Please let us know what you guys think about that. It's going to be really, 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 really cool to see how that affects the market and all that stuff. Something else that's contributing to this correction right now, and something that I don't see a lot of people talking about in the One Piece trading card market specifically. Rudy, I've seen him talk about it, but it's crypto and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, there's more correlation with the crypto market and the crypto community with trading cards than most people think, to be honest. Like my last job was in the crypto market, and I follow a bunch of people on social. And there are so many people I see on my timeline that just talk about trading One Piece, collecting, investing, all that jazz into the One Piece trading card game. I even saw like a meme tweet or something like that, and it was about how people rotated from Bitcoin into One Piece back in October and how that was like the best play of the century or something like that. And there were so many favorites and so many of that stuff. Anyways, I'm only bringing this up because Bitcoin has crashed, like an actual crash, like 55% down in like 2 days or something like that. So there was an actual crash from like $100,000 to like 60,000 or something like that. I don't know. It was like 105 to 60. I don't know what the exact numbers are. But there was an actual crash that happened. And when people lose money in something, they're going to try to recoup their losses from something that is succeeding right now. So if they lost like 45% of their net worth from crypto, they're going to sell some One Piece stuff to make up for the losses in crypto. And Rudy talked about that in his video, which I love that video. One of my favorite Rudy videos that he's ever made, actually, because there's so much insight in that. Because he has so many people who pay for his cards with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana and all that stuff. So there's a lot of correlation between crypto and the trading card market. So that could be another reason why we're starting to see some kind of correction right now.
Definitely makes sense. I could for sure see that. Just to be clear for you at home, if you don't know who we're talking about the Messiah himself, someone we mentioned on this channel multiple times as being the number one go-to for when it comes to the trading card industry from a investor perspective. Rudy from Alpha Investments. If you guys don't know who he is, and that's something that tickles your fancy, highly recommend you guys go check him out. But you know, when you think about it from a generational perspective, it makes sense. I mean, think about it. Who is probably the main market of people that are into One Piece trading cards? People who are in their 30s and 40s. I mean, look at our viewership. For those at home who don't know, our main viewership pool,
25 to 34,
25 to 34, and then a second, actually not too far behind that, is 40s to mid 50s. So that is the prime audience who is watching our podcast and is likely collecting One Piece, investing in One Piece, playing the game even. I mean, you see a diverse group of people. I played against a guy who was like 50 years old the other day. The other day I played against a guy who was like 50. That was crazy. That's the first time that's happened. He was very unhappy that I kept on Mihawking his Crocs, which I'm sorry in advance.
If he's watching this, he's going to be like...
Yeah, I'm giving him PTSD. I kept Mihawking his Crocs, man. That makes it unplayable. But the point being, guys, is it does make sense. And this is going to go to another thing we're going to talk about at one point, which... You know us on the channel, guys, we've always strived to keep this stuff collector focused and to show you guys, our opinions from a collector's lens. For this episode in particular, I think it's really important that we utilize some basic investment terminology. So if that turns you off, then it is what it is. But I think for the purpose of this video, we're going to have to delve into a little bit of it, which is leverage and the power that having a diverse portfolio, aka diverse areas where you're putting your money, is very important, because what we're likely seeing here is people who are very highly leveraged in crypto, who dipped into One Piece a little bit to diversify, and as a result of the crypto market crash, as you mentioned, they would have to liquidate some of their position to either DCA, which is dollar cost average, buy more Bitcoin, because let's be honest, Bitcoin is not going to sit at $64,000 until the end of time. Inevitably, it's probably going to go back up and surpass the $110,000 mark that it was at. So from an investor perspective, it makes sense that, okay, my One Piece area has quadrupled to 500% in the last 2 months. Let me move some of that, and then dollar cost average, buy more Bitcoin, and
to something that's down 50%.
Exactly. To when that hits $110,000, I'm making even more money. It's just fundamental, moving the money in a portfolio to keep it diverse. And the thing is, guys, there is a lot of money that is in here from investors. That's the thing we have to understand. A lot of this growth came naturally from collectors. It came naturally from people coming over from sports cards and Pokemon. But at the end of the day, there was a ton of money that came over from Pokebros and people who were just investing in the card game because they view trading cards as being an investment portfolio. And that's just it. So
we'll talk about this a little bit later, but don't over leverage into One Piece either. You should never be over leveraging into anything, whether it's crypto, trading cards, a stock. It doesn't matter what it is. Like Nick said, you want to be able to diversify into your actual investments. But this is not an investment podcast, so we're not going to be talking about overall investments right now. Another reason why there could be a correction happening right now, and why we foresee a correction to continue to happen, or at least I do. Nick can give his opinion on this specifically, but I see a correction happening for the next... I guess after EBO3 until maybe a couple weeks after OP15. And that's because OP15, it's looking like a stinker. It's looking like just a straight up player set.
Why you hate my boy Lucci, man? My boy Lucy. My boy Lucy.
It's just looking like a straight up player set. Like, there's no cards that I look at and I'm like, wow, that is super collectible. That is something that I want from my collection. But on the flip side of that, when you look at it from a player standpoint, all the leaders are super unique, super fun. Brooke has some really cool stuff. There's a Don Krieg leader that's really, really cool. The leaders look really cool. From a playability standpoint, the set looks fantastic. It looks really fun, looks really refreshing. But when you look at it from like a collector or an investor standpoint, it looks like a complete snooze fest. Like, we have Kobe manga. The leaders are like Brooke, Don Krieg, Rebecca, like characters that, like, honestly people don't care too much about. This is the first Brooke leader, and that Brooke card is actually pretty sick. I think that'll be one of the most expensive cards in the set.
Green black, very interesting.
Yeah, it actually is really interesting. So the Brooke card is pretty cool, and I can see that having a big price just for the alt art, just because it's the first Brooke one. It has the whole Straw Hat crew on the card, or it might be missing a couple Straw Hats. But a really cool card. The secret rares are like some of the, honestly, ugliest I've seen. I'll be honest. Like, there's a Luffy one, but honestly, I don't like it at all. So the set in general, just from an art standpoint and from a collector kind of character standpoint, it's a snooze fest. Straight up snooze fest for me. It has the other half of EBO 4.
Which is going to carry it. That's going to carry it for sure.
Yeah.
And that's where my take would come in, because let's not forget what the other half of EBO4 is in there.
The SP is like, what is it? Sabo?
Sabo, Nami. That Nami SP.
Nami, that's
with all the straw hat, or with Sanji carrying her
good.
and the straw hats in there.
They're calling that Pikachu Nami already, man.
Hey, man, a Gengar Nami, man. When that
They
Gengar Nami line. No, but I think those SPs are going to carry the set for sure.
Yeah,
I'm going to be a hopeful optimist about this one. I do think that OP15, from the greater scheme of things, is, a wise man once told me, not every set can be a banger, man. And that man is sitting next to me on my left. Not every set can be a banger. That's true. It's facts. True. Even from Pokemon, Phantasmal Flames, Charizard's the only cool card, man. I'm saying it right now. You can flame me in the comments right now. I think Charizard's the only cool card from that set. That's pretty much it. If you take away that Charizard from that set, I mean, it's pretty mid. Not every set can be fire, and that's fine. That's OP15. But those EBO4 SPs are going to carry it for sure. Those are absolute heat, especially that Nami is fire. And we don't have the announcement yet of what the manga is going to be for OP15. The second manga. So we know the first manga, Mr. Kobe, who's locked up, they won't let him out. Yeah, from the Egghead Island set, they have Kobe in there for some reason. Still don't know why. That makes no sense. It also makes no sense why OP15 is supposed to be a Skypiea set. Why we got Rebecca and Lucy in there? Why we got Rebecca and Lucy in Skypiea, man? They weren't even additions. Like, that's also Brooke. Why is Brooke in there?
Why wouldn't they just save for like a Dressrosa set or something?
I don't know.
It's a good point.
Make it make sense. But we are getting 2 mangas in the set, which I've hypothesized on this channel, and I'm going to double down. I think we're going to get an Enel manga as the second manga, or another Luffy manga. Again, you typically see a Luffy manga every 3 to 4 sets. We have not had a Luffy manga since OP13 at this point. It's been about 3 or 4 sets. We're overdue a little bit for a Luffy manga, according to the stats. So I can see that, but we are going to have the double manga. We're going to have some cool SPs from EBO4. Plus, correct me if I'm wrong, but EBO4, we're going to get the distorted future Bonnie Altar, which I think is also going to raise a little bit of a premium. I think that leader is very interesting. So,
if I had to use like the Nick logic here, like the logic that you like to use of like
Boo.
comparing it to other sets.
Oh, okay. They're going to use Boo. I was just saying.
No, not Boo yet.
We're too early for Boo.
The Bud's order of operations ain't coming out yet. But if I had to use like your logic for like comparing it to other sets, is it as bad as OP10? There's nothing as bad.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no. I mean, there's 2 mangas. It has the Nami SP. It's already pretty okay. It's already pretty okay when you just add in those factors. Is it better than OP14? I would say it's directly comparable to OP14. No, I don't think it's better than OP14 because OP14 has what I believe is one of the best cards I've ever seen, Bubble Zoro. And then it has really cool Boa Hancock cards, and then it has the anniversary cards. This set is not going to have anniversary cards.
Throw in the tier list, man. Throw in your tier list. Where are you putting it?
Okay, so it's not worse than OP10 and OP08. I would put those at the bottom. OP10 is in F tier. OP08 is in D tier. I would say this set's in C tier, like at the kind of like bottom middle of C tier is where I would put it.
I'm throwing it mid B. Mid B. Right in between OP06 and OP12. That's where slotting that one in. And it's all because of that Nami SP.
Woo!
That Nami SP. If it looks anything as stylistic and artistic
as the Zoro?
The Zoro does.
Man. Okay, that's fair.
I'm telling you right now. Do I say it? It might be better than the EVO3 Nami. Do I say it? Do I say it? If it has the same artistic style as the Bubble Zoro, it might be better than the EVO3 Nami.
I mean,
unless you're just straight gooner and you're just like looking at a very healthy woman.
EVO4 has objectively the best SPs we've ever seen. I think that is an objective take. I don't think that is a subjective take. I think that's an objective take. So I think that card is going to have some crazy ass texture. So I mean, to kind of cap it off on OP14, it does have the Nami card, which I think is going to be the banger
OP15
hit.
For the people at home.
Oh, OP15, sorry. To cap off OP15, it does have the banger Nami card. I think that's going to be the most expensive card in the set, unless it comes out with the Luffy manga that you're expecting. We're going to see whatever the heck that is later. The SP is definitely going to carry the set, but other than that, I think it's a bit of a meh set. That's just my personal take. I think it's a pretty low tier set. I'd put it in C tier. Nick would put it in B tier. So let us know what you guys think. If you guys think it's B or C tier, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
But let's stay focused back to what you were saying. You were saying that was going to extend the current correction going on. So let's go back. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of going from big picture to inside the picture, guys. So we're going back to the big picture now. So go ahead, Dom.
So I guess why I'm saying that is I'm not a Pokemon guy. I am not a Pokemon guy. I've never been a trading card guy. But what I've heard from past trading card game kind of bull runs, from what I've looked up, because I've done research on these different things, is there's the usual end of things is some kind of like stinker set, right? Where like some people stop caring about the trading card game or something like that. I'm saying that I think OP15 is a bit of a stinker, and the people who have come in from OP13 who are used to like bangers, and OP14 I still think is a banger. I genuinely think OP14 is a banger. It has those anniversary cards. I think the Mihawk manga is actually really, really sick, and it has the best SPs, Boa Hancock cards. I think it's a banger set. So I don't think that changed their, like, the person who came from OP13's, like, perspective on how things can be, because once you get like an OP10 or an OP08, you're like, holy moly, this sucks. And then there's like a lot of loss of excitement is what I'm kind of, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is there's going to be some loss of excitement, and I think that's going to stem from how kind of boring OP15 is from a collector's standpoint. Now, you bring up a good point. There's going to be 2 mangas. There's going to be that Nami SP, but I will say there's no anniversary card in this set. So that second manga is basically taking the place of those anniversary cards, which I think is a downgrade.
Come on, man.
I think it's
anniversary card. The last 2 or 2 of the 5 anniversary cards, 4 anniversary cards we've had, Buggy and Blackbeard, man. I'm sorry. I saw someone posted
objectively better than Kobe.
Someone wrote on my TikTok or my YouTube short I made showing off my sequential grade of OP09 cards, and they said that they pulled the gold anniversary Buggy. Congratulations, but come on now. Gold anniversary Buggy.
I think the anniversary cards are better than mangas, man.
I don't know.
That's just me, man. That's just me.
I don't know about that. I don't think. Okay, now when you compare that to the locked up Kobe, sure. But if you compare that to like an actual quality manga, Gear 2 Luffy, would you rather have an anniversary set Buggy or Blackbeard or Gear 2 Luffy?
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna get a Luffy manga. I think we're gonna have a Kobe and like a Nell manga. Dude, can you imagine if they have like a...
I was just saying that because I think you're giving the anniversary cards too much credit. That was the main reason why I'm saying
You think so?
I think you're giving the anniversary cards too much credit. I do indeed.
Wow, okay.
I do indeed.
Okay, that's fair. That's your take, okay.
But, okay, so you mentioned Pokemon. You mentioned corrections coming from stinkers of sets. Both true from my experiences in Pokemon, but there's other catalysts as well. The 2 most important, and the 2 that I have always deemed as being the biggest things to watch when a correction is going to happen are these 2 things happening. Number 1, too much print. When Pokemon collapsed post-pandemic, post-Logan Paul run, that was all because a mixture of stinker sets, but on top of that, they ramped production, and this goes to my second point.
Wait, let's stay on the first one real quick. So we do have that, right? We don't have too much print yet, but we have speculation that there might be too much print in the future. So that could be okay.
Yes,
and then
but the key
we have
is
that
too
check.
much print. The key is too much print. And so that's why it really depends on what Bandai does with these additional distributors.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, which is interconnected with the first one, people naturally leaving the hobby. And they're either leaving the hobby because they got priced out, they're leaving the hobby because it lost its hype, they're leaving the hobby because they found another card game that they were interested in. Whatever the reason is, when you have that mixture of people leaving with more print hitting shelves, you're going to see a substantial drop in pricing. So
you're saying how many paper hands do we have right now?
I mean, it's a mixture of that. It's a mixture of, I know several people who are just really frustrated with the current market situation, and they've mentioned moving on to other trading card games. One even mentioned Digimon. It wasn't AJ. It wasn't AJ. I know. It wasn't AJ, but there are players out there who are indeed getting frustrated. And then you have the flip side of that, which is the Red Bull Double Down event, which happened, which I don't want to delve too deep into because I know the person
that
next to me.
shit's bullshit.
The person
man.
next to me is a little emotional.
It's actually
about it,
bullshit.
We'll
dude.
just say, okay, our local card shop, and we keep deviating, but we're gonna get to the main point here. But our local card shop was one of 3 in the entire state of California. 3 card shops in the entire state of California were selected for the Red Bull Double Down event, and they're all located in a 20-mile radius from each other. There was no card shops in Northern California that were selected, or Central California. It was 3 located in Southern California. The Bandai app crashed on the day of registration because so many people were flooding it. I ended up on the wait list. I'm currently 22nd on the line in wait list. 470 people registered for our local game store to do the Red Bull Double Down event. Do we think that those 470 people are going to get in? Absolutely not. But, you know, if you're from Washington, Oregon, Idaho, I guess it could be different because you didn't even get one. And then we got people over there in Wyoming, of course, Wisconsin, which is the home state, Michigan area. There was a lot of dots over there.
The most trading card game action for One Piece. What state do we think that happens in, man? Is it Wyoming?
A lot of people are biased. A lot of players out there, if you're a player watching this, you understand what I'm talking about. A lot of players are biased thinking like their locals are like, that's where people are at. Like, dude, my locals, that's where the best players are at. That's where my community is the best. I will thoroughly tell you, our local game store, which is one of the 3 shops I was selected, we actively have upwards of 5 to 10 top 32 players at regionals on multiple occasions who show up and play locally. So I don't know if people in Wyoming got that. I don't know if people in Michigan got that. I'm not going to undermine it if that is your local game store, but hey.
Shout out to Hidden Fortress, by the way. Well, that's the shop that we go to.
The goats! The goats! Absolute goats.
Shout out to our locals community over there too. You guys are amazing.
The pod is leaked over to our locals. We don't publicize it, but it's just kind of the algorithm. So shout out our local community. We love you guys.
But yeah, California is the state with the most action. Dude, go talk to a fucking wall. If you think
That's the one. That's the one, folks. That's the one.
Go talk to someone else about that if you disagree. But there being 3 card shops in California, in the state that has the most action, is disgusting, because it just means that all the surrounding states, because there's none above us. There's literally none. In the states above us, there's nothing up there.
Got people carpooling from Oregon and Washington down here.
We're going to have people coming from everywhere. So what does that mean? Dude, the card shop that I go to twice a week had this cool event. I was there at 6:01, literally 6 p.m. 01 seconds, trying to sign up, and I still couldn't do it. I still couldn't do it because there's just that much demand. Now that we can tie this back into the actual trading card game and correction, and kind of having a good positive take on everything.
Which is the people haven't left.
Yeah.
Most people haven't left. Are there some people who do?
Yeah,
speculate. Are there people who have left? Yes, people have left from our local community to play Riftbound or to go play some other card game, or they just said, I'm taking a break. There has been a slight leave, but for the most part, the evidence is overwhelming right now that the card game is pretty healthy.
This is the most successful card game from a player standpoint. I don't care. The One Piece trading card game is the GOAT. In the future, I'm not going to say my take right now. I'm not going to say my take right now. But I have a pretty crazy take. Anyways, I'm not going to say that. Maybe if you guys leave a comment and ask me about it, maybe I'll say something. But I have full confidence in this trading card game, and there's no players that are leaving that I've talked to anyway. It got a little frustrating. But Bandai has been great at making moves. They haven't been great at communicating, but they've been great at making moves. And the new distributor news is amazing news, and that's going to really help. But that's why we're going to see this correction, but that's also why we wanted to say that players aren't really leaving, and we're seeing more demand for playing the card game than seemingly ever before. So this correction is going to happen from all the things that we've laid out, from other markets crashing to new distributors coming and holding the One Piece trading card game. We think people are going to be a little bit scared of that. Maybe they think Bandai is going to overprint, and maybe they could be right. We have no idea what's going to happen. We have no idea if Bandai is going to print this by 10% every set like Rudy wants them to do. We have no idea if they're going to do it by 50%, 100%, 2 times, 3 times. We have no clue. We have no clue if they're going to reprint sets before or they're only going to do sets going forward. We have no idea, and that's where a lot of this stuff is coming in, and that's why I want to transition to the positives of why we talked about why we think there's going to be a correction, but when there's a correction, there's opportunity. And obviously, we believe in the card game, so we think there's going to be a ton of opportunity in this volatile market because of all this news coming out. And I just want to remind everyone of all these different catalyst events that are going to be happening in One Piece, the trading card game, the IP, how culturally dominant this thing is. Just a reminder, we have the live action 1 month. That's coming out on March 10th, I believe, which is exactly 1 month from this video's release. So that's already a huge catalyst.
Less than that. We got leap year. 28 days. Less than that. Less than that. Start the clock, everybody. We got less than a month.
We leaping, man. So we have that. Then we have the new anime readaptation, which is coming from Wit Studio. I'm hoping that's going to happen either at the end of this year or the beginning of mid of next year. So we have that to look forward to. Wit Studio is the studio that did Attack on Titan. And that shit is goated. That show is goated. The animation was goated, and I already know that's going to be insane. I think that anime is going to be incredible. Then we have season 2 of the original One Piece anime happening here, and what?
Season 2? After 26 years, baby. We're here. I think this comes back at end of April? May?
Something like that. I don't know the exact day. I'll probably put it here. But we're going to... I'm not going to say it because somebody might...
They're going to complain. Spoilers. You can't say it.
I'm not going to say
it. Starts with an E. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they're going to some place that starts with an E, which is going to be really, really cool. People have been waiting for that for a long time. And then another thing is, man, this story has been going on for 28 years. We are approaching 3 decades of this story, and we're finally reaching the climax right now. I'm telling everyone watching this, I think this is going to be as big as like the Marvel run that they had leading up to like
you saying Winter Soldier through Infinity or through Endgame.
The cultural domination that had, that chokehold that the Marvel IP had on the planet for that what like 6, 5, whatever, how many years it was leading up to Endgame. I think we're going to see that, and dare I say we're going to see something even bigger, man. That's how that dude. That is how.
What are you going to say?
Crazy.
What's bigger? What are you going to say that's bigger?
I think the cultural domination for One Piece as a story, everyone talking about it. I think it's going to be bigger than Marvel. I said
wow!
I did. I said it, man.
Woo! He said it with his chest too.
I did. I think
bigger than
and that's why one of the reasons I'm saying that is because can you imagine if we've talked about this in the early episode, but can you imagine if One Piece had I don't even want to say it because I don't want to spoil anything, but just canon movies. Can you imagine if One Piece had a canon movie?
They take the Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer approach? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Can you imagine? Demon Slayer made what? Like almost $1 billion? And that's Demon Slayer. I mean, Demon Slayer is popular. It's really cool. But This is One Piece, dude.
People say new top 3. Demon Slayer's up there.
Dude,
The
this
new
is
big 3.
I think One Piece I think could make a crap ton of money in the box office, and that's why I'm thinking I think it's just going to be from an IP standpoint and just from everyone around the world talking about One Piece and the story and all keeping up to date with what's going on. I think that's going to be at an all-time high for the next few years because of the climax of the story. Nobody wants to be spoiled. Everyone's talking about these huge events. I'm sure Oda has some crazy things. I think the day on the internet when we find out what the One Piece is, I think is going to be might be a national
Stay
holiday.
off it if you're not caught up. Stay off the internet for at least 2 weeks, man.
It might be a national holiday to be honest, but
It probably will be in Japan.
so we have that, and then finally, like the actors, famous athletes. Like it feels like every day we're seeing people like new actors, new athletes do poses or talk about One Piece or just share their love for the actual IP or whatever. It's just this IP, this trading card game. It's not going nowhere, dude. It's just not going anywhere. So while we do think there's a correction that's going to be coming from all these things that we've previously talked about. With all this I just said, all these different catalysts that are happening, all these different athletes and famous people talking about it, the climax of the story, the live action, the new season, the new readaptation. There's so much coming for this IP. It's honestly unbelievable. It's just not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
And one thing that I want to reiterate is the fact that corrections are healthy, people. Corrections are healthy and they are inevitable. In any marketplace ever to exist, nothing goes up forever. If something went up forever, I mean, that would be an easy buy. Everyone would be a millionaire, billionaire if something went up forever. But at the end of the day, folks, no matter what, a correction inevitably is going to happen in any market, and it's a healthy sign of growth. Dom listed several reasons for why we are bullish about the IP long term, but even from a short to mid-term perspective, these corrections are a good thing. And what a correction is, more than anything, is a buying opportunity for those of you out there who felt like you were getting priced out because of the ridiculous increases on these cards and these sealed products that we were seeing. So remember, at the end of the day, if you are a fan of One Piece, if you're a fan of the card game, if you're a fan of trading card games, One Piece has shown that it's an IP that can survive throughout the generations, throughout the decades. And all this is beneficial to all of us, that more reprints come, that the market corrects so we can all buy these cards that we really want added to our collection. And I think it was Kaizoku Ice who said it, we're still early, folks. Mm-hmm. No matter what, we are still early. Even if you just joined the card game a month ago, you are still so early in the cycle and the longevity of this card game. Yeah, we're only in for a little bit over 3 years. Yeah.
Not even at 4 years yet.
Yeah, that is nothing for a card game. So I know we've had some doom and gloom episodes in there talking about some stuff going on, some news reporting about some really toxic negative stuff happening with an overused word, but people blatantly scalping a lot of these products. But we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, folks, and I promise you, there's nothing but beautiful landscape waiting out there for all of us. So
it's opportunity. It's opportunity. Take advantage of the people who are here to make a quick buck, who are going to paper hand everything that they have at the slightest inch of a chart going down. Just take advantage of that.
And this brings up a really important thing that I mentioned earlier. And again, we are not the guys who are ever going to see with the chart out. We're not going to be the guys reading the lines, telling you that this is the bottom, this is the top on the little pointer.
Get the Fibonacci out, man.
That is not us. That's not who the buds are. But what we do is we do a lot of market analysis on our own, and we try to present it to you guys in a more palpable way as collectors or whatever you might be. Mm-hmm. And that's why you don't see us coming out here and telling you guys that FOMO is bad because it will over leverage you, which over leverage will then mean that you are caught at paying premiums at the high and losing all your money when they go to the lows when a correction happens. Yeah. That is how the market operates. Fundamentally, buy low, sell high. That's how you always want to participate in any marketplace.
Yeah.
Again, on our channel, we don't expressly tell you to do that, but what we tell you to do is to not give in to your FOMO. Don't bring out that credit card and feel like you need to go buy that $5,000-$10,000 card and get yourself in a bunch of debt, and it's because of this exact reason right here. The worst thing that you could do is over leverage yourself, gain a bunch of debt, and now with the market correcting, you have no choice but to liquidate your entire position and lose a bunch of money to try to pay off some of that debt. So that's why, again, while we don't expressly utilize a lot of market investor terms, we're not going to be the ones to show you the charts. A lot of what we preach and what we practice ourselves are based upon these fundamentals to help save you money in the long run.
Absolutely. To cap it off, don't FOMO, don't over leverage yourself. Have fun, taking advantage of it.
At the end of the day, it's a cardboard, it's a hobby, it's meant to be fun.
Yep. Don't and then just take advantage. Take advantage of everything going on right now. There's a lot of volatility that's probably going to happen over the next couple months, and there's a lot of people who are going to paper hand the things that they have that they thought would go up forever. So
and they may not have a choice. They may be $10,000 in debt right now, sitting on a bunch of OP13 boxes that just dropped $100 in a week.
That's very true. That's very true. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the usual suspects of our episodes, which is, firstly, the notable market movers. So we're going to talk about the things that have gone up, gone down, gone sideways, and why, and our thoughts. First one is the Voyage Luffy promo. So that, I mean, it's on screen right now for anyone who needs a reminder of what that is. But it's the promo card that's being given away at college basketball games. I'm not going to talk about the craziness that's been happening over there, but what I will say is this card came out at like $5.50 or something like that. We were telling you guys to stay away, and I'm glad we did, because our price was like $2.50, I believe, is what we called it to be, where you should start looking at it, maybe start picking it up, and it just hit $2.50. I think it was today or yesterday or something, so it's finally hit that price. I think if you're interested in getting that card, I think it's a good time to perhaps start looking at acquiring it, maybe getting it off eBay or getting it from your local card shop or something like that. I personally think it's a good time. It can maybe go lower, maybe 200, maybe 150. I'm not too sure, but at this point, there's one guarantee. Shout out to Rudy, and that's you're not buying at the top. So I think it's a safe time to buy this promo card. Personally, Nick, I'm not sure if you agree that it's a good time to buy, or you think people should wait a little bit longer. But
I don't hate it, but I also don't hate waiting a little bit longer. There are more games coming, guys. They are just handing these out at every card, at every game until they are out. So there's going to be more flooding the market. I think, again, you should follow the same trajectory that you did if you picked up the BVB Luffy. Wait for all of them to hit circulation. Once everything hits circulation, they stop handing them out. You know there's no more coming. Wait a couple weeks, see where everything bottoms at, and then look to strike. But again, $200 at the end of the day, you might save $50, maybe $50. So I don't hate picking it up now. If you picked it up for $5.50, I'm sorry. We tried to tell you.
Yeah.
Tried to tell you, don't pick it up at $5.50. We tried to tell you, don't pick it up at $5.50. But I digress. But yeah, I don't hate it.
Okay. Gold Shanks PSA 10. Now I am familiar with this one because I pulled it and then I also sold it. But the Gold Shanks PSA 10. This comes from OP13. This was selling for like 5,000, 4,500. I saw sell for like $7,000, but I think that's an anomaly, so I won't even bring that up in the equation here. But it's now selling for about 3,500. So that we're seeing these kind of big chase cards, and I don't have the some other ones, and I should have put them down.
OP15 Manga Luffy, I got one of my domes down around 2K, 2.5K.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. PRB01 Luffy manga is down as well. Pretty much every Grail is down right now.
I know I don't have this here, but I know the Nami and the Zoro, those were both going for about like 5K last week or 2 weeks ago. And now they're both going for about, I know the Nami, there was a sale for like 3,800, and then the Zoro, I think there was a sale for like 4,200 or something like that. So yeah, a lot of these manga cards, a lot of these top Grail chase cards are going down anywhere from like 10 to 20%, which could be a good opportunity. You're playing the game of what's Bandai going to reprint at the end of the day, to be honest. And I think the Gold Shanks, I think there might be a bigger decrease on the Gold Shanks because people might think that that's kind of guaranteed for reprints just because it came out so Literally just a couple months ago. So that could be why it's down more than the other things. But I'm honestly not too sure. We're just seeing all these different Grails and manga cards down from anywhere from 10 to 20%, which, like I said, correction is good. Correction is healthy. If you believe in the long term success of the card game, I think it's an opportunity for some people. So there's the Gold Shanks. EBO3 pre-release pricing came down to $460, which is okay. So we're down below 500. I would love to see us down under 400 before release. That is what I'm hoping for. I know that's nobody's gonna like that either way, but I'm just hoping for it to be something attainable for most people. $400 is a frick ton of money for a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people will not be able to pick up this set, but I'm really hoping it at least goes under 400. Ideally, it goes to under 300, but I don't see that happening.
It's better than 700. It's better than 700.
It is better than 700. That's for damn sure. So EBO3, we're going down, not at the rate that I was hoping for, but we still have what, a week and a half, 2 weeks before it actually releases. So there's still time. To see that go down a little bit more.
Also, you are hearing pre-releases are getting canceled, which this is a separate topic that we'll cover at a different point. But again, pre-releases, if you're one of the people who buy stuff super early, that's the danger you run, something that Rudy also always mentions. You're essentially giving a 0% loan to a card shop who can cancel your order anytime.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I'm sorry for the people out there who had your pre-release orders canceled, likely stemming from the stuff going on with theft and all the other stuff happening with the demand of the card game. But I highly recommend, if you get your order canceled from a card shop, never do business with them again. They don't deserve it.
Oh yeah, I would just never pre-order a set ever. Like, there's always just a winner and a loser, and that just feels weird.
0% interest loan.
Yeah.
0% interest loan.
That too. Yeah. Even if our local card shop, Hidden Fortress, like, if they did pre-orders, I don't even know if I'd do it with them, and I trust them with my life at this point. So, I don't know. It's not something that
my first name-born child's gonna be after the owner.
All right, OP14 now selling for about $220. I think this set might be the biggest hit from people who were scared of the news that there are more distributors, because this is the latest set. So this is the most likely to be reprinted. And I think there's probably some fear there that it is going to be reprinted. So we're seeing people like, oh, I got to offload these because this might go down to like 180 or 170 or 150 or 140, or Bandai's going to reprint this to Kingdom Come, and all these things are going to go down. I got to get all, oh no, I'm done. All that kind of stuff. I think that set is the most susceptible to that line of thinking. So that's where I think that comes from personally. I think it's at a price where, honestly, I don't mind it, man. I love OP14. I love the set. I think we've already talked about it, so I won't go into it again. But I love the set. I think we're starting to get into that territory where I'm like, maybe I would get a case right now.
Ripping casually, a little casual rip.
It's possible.
Been a while since a casual rip occurred in this household.
It's possible. If that goes to like 200, ship door. Then we have the Ryuma Premium Card Collection card. We've talked about this card a couple times.
We tried.
We really
Gengar Nami, bro. Gengar Nami.
People were saying, oh, it's Oda Stamp, bro. It's Oda Stamp, bro. That's why it's $70, man. I'm just like, damn, really? We doing this? We really doing this? Like, anyways, won't go into that, but it was like $70. Now it's $45. I don't bring this out often. I told you so. Anyways, I still hate the card, man. I'm not buying it for $45 either. And then the last notable market mover that I wanted to talk about, Bubble Zoro, the king, the absolute king. So we talked about 1 episode ago, how we pondered the question: Mihawk manga or Bubble Zoro? What's gonna be more expensive? PSA 10 Mihawk manga, $2,800. Nick, Bubble Zoro PSA 10. Last sold, $4,400.
I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think that's going anywhere either. I think Mihawk might even go down a little bit more. Wow. The QC on the Bubble Zoro
It's bad.
is bad, folks.
It's
Really,
bad.
really bad. I don't know if something happened during the print, but every single card I've seen has the same white indent on the top center of it.
Yep.
I'm guessing a 10 of it is probably pretty rare, but I'm not looking at pop counts right now in front of me. I can't tell you for certain, but yeah, that's a toughie. That's a tough one.
I genuinely think it's a top 3 card in the trading card game. Not like Grail wise or anything like that. Just pure art. Just pure art. Like, it's my favorite card in the TCG right now, and my favorite card used to be the Chinese first anniversary Zoro. Now that's my second, and this is my first. It's that good.
You got some recency bias there?
No, I don't. And
You
I know
checked the recency bias out.
I've checked it off. I'm telling you, this is the best card I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever seen a better card?
Those
Texture-wise.
bubbles. I said it since day one.
Bro, it's
First
crazy.
day I saw
It's
that card,
crazy.
the bubble, I'm telling you, anybody who's seen the card in person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That bubble texture,
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. If you have a Bubble Zoro, you're eating good, man. For real. All right, guys, we're moving on to the Q&A segment of the video. If you guys have a question, you guys can leave it down in the comment section below, and we might answer yours in the next video. First question comes in from PokeJoe7. The Kuma card is at $50. Thank you, and going down, but let me ask you this. If a card is playable, then isn't that the point for the price influx? Anyway, good video. Zoro job, my friend. Thank you, brother. Yeah. So what we try to do in our episodes is when there is a card that is meta, that is at an astronomically high value, we try to let you guys know so you guys don't think that that card is valuable for some other reason. That's basically the justification that we give ourselves for bringing it up in a video. So that Kuma specifically, I think it's at like $50 or $60 right now, and we just wanted to let you guys know, like, hey, this Kuma card is at $50-$60. If you guys were wondering why this card is at this price, it isn't because the anime just went into Kuma's backstory or anything like that. It's because that Kuma card is probably a top 3 yellow card right now, and yellow decks are actually really good right now. So that's what we try to do. That's what we try to do. But
and that's why we always tell you guys, no matter what, you should always be tracking the meta. If you can play the game, highly recommend you guys play the game because that's the easiest way to track the meta. But even if you don't have time to play the game or you just have no interest, you have to follow the meta for One Piece so you know the reasoning behind the value of these cards.
Yeah, you have to. There's so many cards that go to like a price where you're like, huh? And then if you know the backstory of like where it is at in the meta, then you kind of understand. Okay, our next question comes in from It's Really Reina. She sent some other stuff, but we sent her some cards because she was having a bad time getting some cards, and she got them. So thank you for the support, and I'm glad you got those cards. She also sent a question, and she said, with all the theft and lack of printing, wouldn't the easiest way to crash the market is just to stop paying scalper prices? If nobody buys from them, then they have to open all product and sell the cards for the base market rate. The fan base and whatever the sold price determines the value, so if scalpers buy every box, but nobody buys off them, they end up at a huge loss. This is a huge roundabout way to say just printing more and adding more locks on buying, such as one per person, lotteries to get one, and so on, would solve most of these issues, right? What else do you think would create more healthy prices flow in the market for average players to get their hands on product? So first of all, thank you so much for the thought-out question. A lot of good stuff here. I want to first start off by saying I think the term scalper and scalping is used a lot. And I think it's
way too much.
I think it's misused, and I'm not coming at you directly or anything like that. I understand where people are coming from. They know what they know, and they want to be able to participate in this hobby, and they're frustrated. So I get it. I get why that word gets thrown around a lot. But when I think of scalper, I think of someone who goes to a Target, buys 10 illustration boxes, and then immediately flips them on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, eBay, it doesn't matter. For quick profit. They don't care about the longevity of the card game. They don't care about playing the game. They don't care about One Piece. They're just here to make a quick buck off of buying something and immediately reselling it. I think investors kind of get called scalpers, which I don't agree with because these people have long-term aspirations for the card game. They want things to be successful. They want the card game to be successful, and they are financially tied to the card game actually being successful. So I just want to start off by saying that first. And then I also wanted to say when I hear people say everyone should stop buying from scalpers, I think I just think the demand is so high, and I don't even think these people are buying from scalpers, because these are all coming from local card shops for the most part, and I don't think local card shops are scalpers. I guess it depends on what your definition of scalper is, but I don't think these card shops are scalpers, and I just think the demand was too high. I think the only solution is more printing, and luckily we are going to start seeing that because Bandai is working with those other distributors like we talked about earlier in the video. So I think that's the only solution that I have. I don't think there like some call to action to not buy from specific people is going to help, because some people, if you don't buy it, someone else will. Nick said that in an episode or two ago, and I fully agree with that. If you don't buy it, someone else will, especially when there's so much value in these specific cards, like OP13, $15,000 card. You think if that went to $200, somebody wouldn't buy that? Of course they would. So that's where I'm at anyway. That's where I'm at. I'm not sure if you have any additional opinions there.
The sad reality is that the question you pose, in a perfect world, if everyone held hands and sang Kumbaya, if the entire community came together and we said we were not going to buy for secondary pricing, yes, the market would go down. Why? Supply and demand. If there is a whole bunch of supply and everyone is on the same wavelength together singing Kumbaya and refusing to pay these prices, there's no demand.
Yeah.
So the supply will naturally have to go down until the demand arrives, which then everyone singing Kumbaya could facilitate. But unfortunately, this is more of a socioeconomic issue that is greater than trading card games, which stems directly from wealth disparity. That is it. No matter what, as Dom stated, and what I've said before on the channel, someone is going to pay the price for the secondary market. And that's because they have a certain amount of wealth where, for them, they rather gain access to the product and save the time or the hassle of having to try to organize the Kumbaya or to go around to Target to find this product, and they will pay that price. And again, the sad reality is, while in a perfect world, your suggestion would definitely work, just looking at market fundamentals and supply and demand. But in the current world we live in, people are always going to be looking to pay that secondary price, which then feeds the fire of why the market is the way it is, and there is such a demand or supply issue based on the really high demand. So I think Dom, what he said is true. I think everything he mentioned is correct in relation to his analysis of what a scalper is. I stand by that fully, and how the difference is between an investor scalper, and I can't even believe that collectors get thrown into that realm.
There's just so much frustration. People just want to
They want to blame somebody.
Yeah.
I remember
I understand.
Someone wrote a comment underneath my short when I was talking about how we need more EBO3, and they're like, I give collectors the smallest pass because they're not here just trying to manipulate the market. And it's like, why would a collector get a small pass? The collector has nothing to do with this. All they're trying to do is collect some cardboard, have some fun. Anyways, but yeah, unfortunately, to answer the question in terms of how we actually solve these problems, it's by satiating the demand. That's it. And how do we do that? Through more print, through what we discussed in this video. You correct the market from people leaving, or more printing happening, or both. That's it.
Yeah, I really do think with the Bandai having more distributors, I think we're going to see some paper hands leave. I think the prices are going to come down. There's going to be more production. And I think we're going to see an event where the people who don't actually believe in the card game are going to leave, which means I think the prices are going to go down. Now, obviously, I think everything's going to go back up eventually. It doesn't, because I believe so much in the card game, so I don't think it matters too much, but I do think there is going to be opportunity here. So,
no, one more thing I want to add too is for the players out there, I don't want to just be doom and gloom and say, well, the market is the market, there's nothing you can do about it. I have always said this, and I'm reiterate this pretty much every video. It's your job as a player, collector, investor, whatever you are, to find box prices for the cheapest price possible. There's plenty of game stores out there who will sell you, if you're a regular, OP14 for MSRP.
play the game.
It has to come, though, from work by you to play the game. So, again, there is opportunity out there. I'm not going to say, oh, you're just screwed and the market is what it is. No, there is definitely opportunity out there, but it comes from some work. So don't feel like it's hopeless. There's definitely hope.
Last piggyback on this, and then we'll end this episode here, is stores get more allocation the more players they have. So that's why they give so much kind of priority to the people who actually come to the card shop and play the game, because the card shop is benefiting.
As always, guys, thanks so much for spending what I think is 48 minutes with
49
us, the Buds, as we discuss something we all love, being the One Piece trading card game. Genuinely, from the bottom of the hearts, we really do appreciate your guys' support and watching this and following us on our our content journey, as we have just hit 2,000 subscribers. It is such a huge accomplishment of achievement that from myself, Dom, and AJ, the third Bud, we are really, really thankful for all of you guys here for watching us and supporting us with all the kind words in the comments and even the not kind words. We just appreciate you guys watching. Anyways, guys, as I always conclude with my 17 seconds of time for our playlist here, we're going to put up one playlist is going to be the Beginner's Guide series, where we teach you everything that you need to know about collecting the One Piece trading card game. And the other playlist is going to be to all of our previous episodes of Buds Watch, where hopefully we can provide you some great value in collecting.
All right, guys, we'll catch y'all
On the next one.
Peace.